Some of us do and some of us teach, and if you're Janet Sperstad, you both do and teach. Welcome, Janet.
Yeah, thank you.
Because I know you've had a storied 20-year career in planning,
yeah.
So you know what you're talking about.
Yes.
On the other hand, you're also a teacher,
yes,
in Wisconsin.
Yep.
And so you're actually grooming the next generation of planners.
Yep.
Is
exactly.
that correct?
Yes, exactly.
And we'll get to this, you also have your own thoughts about your next contribution to the industry. So we're going to go this 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, okay.
Let's start first with your teaching in terms of the new generation of planners compared to what you would have experienced when you started the business.
Right.
Differences?
Oh, just this morning I was talking to someone saying how when I started my career, it was really about, well, I fell into it, and I knew somebody that could help me get a job part-time, and now the next generation is really coming into the classroom saying, I want to be an event planner. I want to be a meeting professional. And it's very clear they have a vision of what it is, which also means they have a vision of what it isn't. And that's quite profound for our industry. For the first time, we have canons of competencies of what we do as practitioners. And that is just in the last 18 months, MPI has put this investment in, and we've identified those competencies. So now we've been able to take it to the academic world and share that with them. So now they're going in and sharing that with the students, so people really get a better idea of what it is and what it isn't. And so students come in really with a lot of energy and passion, and really be able to talk some of the talk and use some of the vernacular that we just learned along the way. So education accelerates ideas. Education accelerates innovation. And we will start to see the fruits of the labor, which we already are seeing in our young professionals receiving RISE awards and being on our International Board of Directors of MPI. So their impact is starting to make a ripple effect very profoundly in our industry.
We talk about the soft skills in terms of overall attitudes and behaviors, but there are hard skills too in terms of what you must know for this new generation of planners. And are they coming understanding that this is now a business tool, that there's got to be a bottom line? Do they see that ROI? Yeah,
they know that so much of our industry has been really talking about the mantra of meetings mean business, ROI, but they're looking at when I do that event, I know that I just can't go back to my boss and say, it was really good, it was really fun, everyone had a great time. Because the boss is asking for those numbers.
Right.
So tracking their financials, before and after budgets, really looking at how do you measure what customers are coming back, what are they buying, what are they not buying. So they're really seeing it, and they're getting an education around logistics are tools that we get to use to create experiences. And they're looking at it that way. And it's really around how does it drive a business. So when we want to go off and do a new product launch, what market, when, how do we capture that? Let's look at our registration. Let's tag that to our current customer base. Let's tag that to our sponsors. Let's tag that to what opportunities aren't even in the business community yet that we should consider. So it's really a deeper level that it keeps cycling through. And I hope one day soon that we will have a graduate program just on meetings and events, not hospitality, meetings and events. Because it's very different worlds. So it's just pushing our industry forward faster and pushing me forward and faster, but I love it.
You work for the University of Wisconsin?
Yep, Madison Area Techno College.
Do they also use you to put events together? So it's actually kind of a practicum?
Yes, they do.
And do you use your students?
As I say, I'm a recovering planner. But once you've planned, you're always a plan, and I'm sure like a chef, once you're a chef, you're always a cook and all of that. So yes, we have an event for 2,000 people coming up in October. Our college turns 100, and we're doing a big event, and of course my thumbprints and fingerprints are all over it.
But are you able to get your students involved to get
practical experience? Very much so.
This is one of those where, you're going to enjoy this. It's actually a chance to learn.
Right. We learn the best by being thrown in the fire. I'm sure you have that. I've had that. You bet.
If I had a room full of planners sitting across from us, and you're now the teacher, professor of all these future planners, what could you tell those planners about what to expect? I mean, be enthusiastic because the next wave of planners coming out of your curriculum will be great planners, or
Yeah.
they're going to be smart, or I mean, what's the promise of these new students?
I've been in their place, and I know that what I see coming out of the classroom, from my classroom, from classrooms from my colleagues out in the industry of other academic institutions, are these students are aggressive, they are smart, they understand the resources available to them, and there's more than ever. So stay up on your game. Stay up on the reading, staying up on your connections and your networking. Your experience is really critical to helping you be more successful. And there's more information. Stay relevant and stay on top of your game.
So be aware these young people are on the move, and
Yep.
but I'm
They're pushing me every day. They ask me questions all the time in the classroom. And I have to say, I don't know, but I'll get back to you on that.
just to that point. What generally kinds of areas are they most interested in? Because a lot of young people very much want to get the big job. They're not necessarily interested in working their way up slowly in some kind of mentorship. But what's the question you get most often, or area?
A lot of my students, I'm in the School of Business,
Right.
and my curriculum is really aligned towards marketing and communications. 30% of my customers already have a bachelor's. So as I'm a technical college school, it's a very deep canon of competencies. So like 75% of my competencies are embedded in the Certified Meeting Professional designation. So it's a very different demographic, but what students are asking me is really around questions like, well, how does that meeting connect with the brand of the company?
Oh, okay.
How do you create when Kraft is, Oscar Mayer is in Madison where I'm at, and so sometimes we'll have some of them come through the classroom, and they really want to know how do they make sure their brand is embedded with those customers when they walk out, when they bring in their distributors. And so it's a much deeper level, and it's often around marketing and communications.
Now that you become an academician, what is it you miss most about being a planner?
I love
You'd
my
had your
life.
20 years.
I am more relaxed. It's planners. It is a stressful job, and you have a lot of people counting on you, and you often don't have a safety net. And I have so much admiration for the practitioners out there doing it today, because the stakes are even higher than ever before. So I love what I do. I love being a professor. I love who I do it for. And as a going back and being a planner, I get to dip my toes in every once in a while with these big events.
And you get to talk to them.
But then I run right back into the classroom, because I live a much calmer, relaxed life.
Well, for all the planners listening to this, I'm sure they're going to be envious of what you've got.
Yeah, well, come teach.
Right.
Come teach.